Last night, one of the most entertaining games of the year, the A's, in walk-off fashion, took Game 1 versus the Dodgers in the 10th inning. And he hits one down the right field line, fair ball. And they're going to wave home Canna. And the throw is airmailed, and the A's have won the game in the bottom of the 10th inning. Billy Butler's your hero tonight with a little help from Mark Canna. Today it's a quick turnaround as the two World Series rivals are back at it again. It's Game 2, A's, Dodgers, next. Baseball at the Coliseum after a wild 10-inning win last night for the Athletics. So they'll try to build on that, make it 2 in a row over the Dodgers, and Jesse Chavez is going to demand to try to do that. So it's Game 2 of this quick 2-game series. Interleague Baseball, the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it's coming up on CSN, California. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's Baseball along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuyper. Earlier today, Ike Davis was placed on the disabled list, so Mark Canna is going to get more at-bats. And I think the A's are really hoping to get a chance to look at Canna the final 6 weeks, and now they're definitely going to.
Well, it's worked very well, starting in Baltimore, where he started to play a lot of first base, continued last night, and will be in the lineup. But the way he's been swinging the bat against right-handers, they were brought in, of course, as a rule of 5 to maybe hit against lefties, but he's done better against the righties, and it continued last night. Kershaw, he was great against him, continued throughout the night. 4 hits in 5 at-bats. This one was a big one. In right center, we drove home a couple of runs when the A's were down 3 runs. But a good night, great night for him. He's going to play some defense at first base. He can play some outfield, but he's a very good player, and this is just his first year.
Pitching matchup today, Jesse Chavez and Alex Wood, and for Jesse, his 22nd start. Alex Wood, one of the guys the Dodgers picked up at the trade deadline, trying to bolster that rotation.
Well, I think from Jesse Chavez, he knows what he did in Los Angeles. Puig hit the hanging cut fastball. Puig not in the lineup today, but the A's also know about Alex Wood. Last night, they faced a pretty good left-hander, Clayton Kershaw. He's a lefty, Wood is, but he's much different, as the A's will find out today. Just stay back. Don't try to do too much against him. Chavez just trying to shut out the Dodgers.
All right, we had a lot of fun last night. We'll see if we can do the same today. Interleague Baseball, it's the A's, and it's the Dodgers coming up here on CSN California. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back. Got a beautiful day for baseball in Oakland.
on CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get the new steak and egg breakfast burrito at Jack in the Box. It's not your basic breakfast burrito. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear.
Here come the Athletics as we have day baseball at the Coliseum. It's a beautiful day, and he's trying to beat the Dodgers for the second game in a row. Lots of fun last night. We'll see what happens today under sunshine skies. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 72 degrees. Beautiful day. It was cool. It got windy last night, but not a cloud in the sky today as the crowd still filing in. Had a sellout last night. Should be a decent crowd again today. So the A's in the all-whites, Dodgers in the road grays, as we are just moments away from getting this ball game underway. Dodgers lineup for today looks like this. Bay Area native Jimmy Rollins will lead things off. Then Carl Crawford in left. Adrian Gonzalez at first. Justin Turner's in the cleanup spot. Andre Ethier in the lineup today. Yasmani Grandal will do the catching. Scott Van Slyke, the designated hitter. Jack Peterson in center, and Kike Hernandez is the second baseman.
And Jesse Chavez will be on the mound for the Athletics against the Dodgers in Los Angeles. 5 innings. He gave up 3 runs and a home run. That was to Puig. As we mentioned, Puig out after the hamstring injury last night, so he's not playing. And Jesse with the high stirrup socks as he has changed a little bit of his luck and he's pitching well. Just hope he can continue that into the A's game. He beat the Astros a couple of starts to go. Lost to the Blue Jays in his last start, but didn't everybody. A's didn't win a game on the road trip against the Blue Jays and the Orioles.
So Jesse looking for his 7th win of the year as Jimmy Rollins steps in. And we're set for baseball. First pitch to Rollins is fouled straight back. So 12:37 first pitch here at the Coliseum. It was a 5-4 10-inning win last night for the Athletics.
I think some of the balls that were hit last night might travel a little bit differently today, and we always say that, but that's what day baseball at the Coliseum does. So Jimmy Rollins has watched a few baseball games here during the daytime, and if you watch McGuire, he saw some balls travel out in the late 80s.
A little high, 2-1 umpires today. That's Tim Timmons who's calling balls and strikes, and your crew chief is Tim Welke. He's down at first base. 2-1 to Rollins. 3-1 to Rollins. Crawford to follow, and then Gonzalez here in the very first inning.
One thing Jesse Chavez talked about mechanically, and he's using it today, where he's kind of rotating the hips side to side instead of getting on top and getting the ball down in the zone. Like that. That's what he wants to do.
Valencia looking up into that bright sky, makes the catch. 1 out. A's defense today. Jake Smolinski is back in the big leagues, just called up today. He's in left field. Billy Burns in center, and Josh Reddick is in right. Danny Valencia at third. Marcus Semien at short. Eric Sogard at second, and Mark Canha at first. Fegley behind the plate. So Carl Crawford steps in. First pitch to Crawford is a fastball outside. 298, couple of home runs for Crawford, 10 RBIs, playing in just his 36th game. Had that oblique strain earlier in the year, and he missed 75 games. So Jake Smolinski back up from AAA, and Ike Davis placed on the 15-day disabled list with the hip injury, and really that hip has been bothering him for a long time. And I don't think there's any doubt that the down numbers production wise for Ike Davis has a lot to do with that.
It's amazing though how they could replace a relief pitcher, left-handed reliever, with a position player.
That's true. Is the bullpen going to be okay without Ike Davis?
Ike Davis got that perfect ERA, 2 innings and no runs allowed.
And that one is right at the knee. Strike 3 call. Carl Crawford didn't like it, but it looked like a pretty good pitch.
I could not see anything wrong with it, and maybe Fegley set up one place, the ball was another, but Tim Timmons had it perfectly, and a two-seamer came back. Fegley did reach back a little bit. I mean, maybe Crawford saw that Fegley was the outside corner, but Two-seamer this time worked. Jake Smolinski joining the club again. Of course, the A's did pick him up. He played well, but when you have options, sometimes things happen. But as he was coming in today, he could walk down the stairs into the clubhouse and see the lineup posted. Even with his bag from Nashville, he could see that he was in the lineup.
Sogard grabs the hard hit ground ball, flips to first, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Jesse Chavez. Here come the A's in the bottom of the first. Burns, Canna, Valencia, Fegley, Smolinski, Butler, Reddick, Simeon, and Sogard.
Alex Wood again a little bit different than what the A's saw in the lefty last night, but Wood, Atlanta, came to the Dodgers and 24th start overall, but mostly with the Atlanta Braves. The Dodgers, once they had a couple of starters go on the disabled list. Brandon McCarthy won for sure, but Alex Wood, a lefty in this rotation, and a lot of walks. Although 44, I don't think a lot, but that's compared to like a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. So the A's just need to be a little patient today against this lefty, except for Billy Burns, of course.
First pitch to Burns is bounced over the head of the third baseman. Turner Rollins grabs it on the backhand, but nothing he can do with it. Take a bite out of it, and Burns has an infield single. And that is his 31st infield hit of the year. Here's your defense. Crawford, Peterson, Ethier in the outfield. Then Turner Rollins on the left side. Hernandez, Gonzalez on the right side with Yasmani Grandal doing the catching. So Billy Burns swings at the first pitch, and this is the result.
And Turner playing even with the bag over his head. Jimmy Rollins did the best thing. Don't throw it. No chance. He knows. Move to his right. But I remember a time when a hitter, he had an 0-2 count on the hitter, and if you threw him anything close and he got a hit, man, pitching coach managers really did not like that. I think with Billy Burns, if you throw him a strike on the first pitch, he should be fine. I mean,
that would be the ultimate going against the baseball odds, right? If you throw a first pitch strike to the leadoff hitter, you're fine.
Exactly, because he's going to swing with 50% that he has a hit on the first pitch. I mean, why they keep doing it is really surprising. But happy they are. But 0-2 was always, oh, you can't let somebody get a hit 0-2. Well, in Burns, he'll never get to 0-2. Very rare for him to do that.
Don't you ever throw a first pitch strike to Billy Burns.
That's right. Start the game 1-0. It bounces. But it didn't run last night when he singled against Kershaw. See if you do it against Wood.
Takes low, 1-1 the count. Big night for Canna. 4 for 5, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. He scored the winning run, and he had good at bats. His average up to 248, 9 home runs, 41 RBIs. He's got 13 hits in his last 31 at bats. So getting a chance with Ike Davis now on the disabled list. I think you're going to see Mark Canna at first base probably just about every day.
Well, as we've talked, I mean, who do you want to see? And again, nothing against Ike Davis, but Mark Canha, first year, he's really going to be on this ball club. Rule 5 this year, but he has performed, and numbers he has put up: 9 home runs, 41 driven in, starting play today. Those are great numbers for a Rule 5 player.
Good pitch there. 2-2 the count. That's how the rookie numbers stand up for Mark Canha. He's got the most RBIs of any American League rookie. He's 4th in home runs.
Really watching him all year, you don't even classify him, or at least look at him as a rookie. It's like he's been around for several years, the way he has played and been given the opportunity.
And I'm just looking at the American League rookie batting leaders, of which, as we just showed you, Canha the most RBIs. Billy Burns all over the charts as well. I think the guy who may have taken over the Rookie of the Year best candidate is now the young man in Houston.
That's right.
Carlos Correa, who has got 14 home runs and 39 RBIs. We've seen what he can do.
Last night, he started the 10th inning with a 2-strike double left field, and that's impressive whenever you can have the kind of swings he has had with 2 strikes. Saw it in Baltimore. It seems like every time he plays in, it's not like he's not aggressive. He's just not tapping the ball. 2 strikes. He's driving it.
2-2 the count. Burns, good lead at first. Sitting on 24 stolen bases, not running. The ball's hit foul. But who knows, Ray? Maybe a couple guys to build around with Burns and Mark Canha. I mean, this is the way the situation has to be looked at now. You got Marcus Semien.
He's improved immensely.
Sure has. Canha reaches for it and drops it into right field for a hit. Burns will easily make it to third. And how about that 2-strike hit? Not a bad pitch by Alex Wood, but Canha does a nice job hitting the ball the other way, and that time he just kind of covered it well off the plate, but he'll take it.
That's a smart hitter, because Canha swung through a changeup, and as a hitter, you see veteran hitters say, okay, you threw me a changeup, I look foolish. You got to throw it again, and at least expanded the strike zone. There's the changeup coming from the left-hander off the plate, but he saw it, stayed back, and maybe protected him with a couple of strikes, and shot it to right field, and there you have a 1st and 3rd in the 1st inning. Exmo
brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
But that's how you approach Wood. I mean, he's not going to overpower with the fastball, and he throws a changeup as much as he does. Go opposite field.
First pitch to Valencia is bounced. They're going to try to turn a double play, and they do. Valencia thinks he was safe. Whatever the call is at first, Burns comes in to score, and the A's have an early 1-0 lead, but Valencia thought he was safe, and we're going to take a look. Turner's throw to second was a little bit low. Kike Hernandez had to go down to get it.
Now there's the great play at second base, and
I think he's safe.
Yeah, toes on the bag before it gets into Gonzalez's glove, and that is the veteran Tim Wilkie. He'll take a listen to New York.
So if he's out, it's no RBI for Valencia. If he's safe, it is an RBI.
But Turner did what you expect an infielder to do. He could have gone to the plate, but he thought he's going to be able to turn a double play, so that was get 2, give up 1, and get the 2 outs. But the low throw that he made, he had a tough night last night, Turner did. Catching the ball, throwing the ball. But
I think if it's a good throw to second base,
it's no doubt.
And he's going to turn that double play.
That's why the intent initially was the best, because it was a hard one-hopper to third. And if he hits Hernandez with a chest throw, then it's going to be an easy double play.
Yeah, I think that's going to be changed. This is a good look.
Yeah, that's the one that more definitive, and his toe is on the bag there, and the ball is a foot from the glove.
So it should get changed. We think it will. And they do. All right, so it's an RBI for Valencia on the fielder's choice. So he's happy about that. And the A's have an early lead.
Well, Adam Roden, the A's video coordinator, downstairs, and he's got all the monitors and, you know, as many replays. And again, kudos to Dallaire and guys in the truck to show multiple replays, so all those can be seen. And that's sometimes why it takes as long as it does back in New York.
Yeah. So this is a legitimate thought here, Ray. Is going home there a secondary choice to turning the double play? And I understand it's the first inning. You got a chance to get 2 outs, but you're going to get the out at home plate.
Yeah, but you're also going to have the rule of thumb, generally speaking, and I still think if Turner makes a good throw to second, it's a double play. The fact that Hernandez had to reach, but the rule of thumb is first and third, if the ball is hit hard enough to turn 2, you take 2, especially this time of the game. If it's slowly hit, first of all, the runner at third shouldn't run on a slow hit ball. And I think when Billy Burns ran, it was assuming it was going to be a round the horn double play attempt instead of waiting. So, I mean, it's just kind of what players think about. But I agree, he was going to be out by plenty, but it would have been first and second, whereas now, if they turn the double play, there's nobody on.
And that one just fouled down the third base line.
Now he's going, and he would have been out. He's looking back, but I mean, really, he's thinking that it would have been a double play, so he goes. If it's slowly hit, then maybe that's why he looked back to see what Turner was going to do.
So 1-2 to Fegley. And again, you're right. It's a little, your thought process, our thought process may be a little different if the double play was turned.
Right,
and
exactly.
It probably should have been.
Well, it should have been. And that's why Turner initially threw to second, assuming he was going to get 2 and give up the run, but he made a bad throw.
2-2 to Fegley.
Late in the game, it's a totally different story. Infield might be in.
This could be 2 out at second, and it is a double play. So Fegley hits into the 6-4-3 double play. A's get a run on 2 hits. So we're through 1 at the Coliseum. A's 1, Dodgers 0.
The MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. You can watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live bookends, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
So a 1-0 lead, the A's over the Dodgers. And Jesse Chavez goes to work after a 3-up, 3-down first inning. He'll face Turner, Ethier, and Grandal. And the first pitch is in for a strike to Turner, the third baseman, hitting .315, 14 home runs and 47 RBIs.
Still a pitch from Jesse's standpoint. He'd like to get it down a little bit lower, as he did to Rollins in the 3-1. And you can just watch him, and it's sometimes a little difficult to see kind of the rotation of the hips versus the arm getting up on top and driving the ball down. As a cutter, probably left up a little bit more than he wanted to. But a lot of times a pitcher needs to have somebody say something to him. But Jesse is pretty sharp about his own mechanics, and he is able, as we have seen in the time in the rotation, be able to make the corrections during the game. Very impressive.
Curve is hit high in the air, shallow left. Smolinski trots in, and he's got it. So that's out number 1. Shutdown opportunities for Jesse Chavez. He's 19 for 23 above the AL average.
Right fielder.
Showed Mark Burley in Toronto. He had 45.
45 opportunities.
That means they scored 45 in 45 different innings for him. But certain pitches, you really put Chris Bassett in the category. And Jesse's probably getting a lot of support, run support, compared to Chris Bassett. But it's a pretty good rotation that's developing, and that has not been an issue for the Athletics this year.
So 0-1 to Andre Ethier, 291. 12 home runs for Ethier. He was not in the starting lineup last night. He came in as a pinch hitter. Ended up going 1 for 2. Yasiel Puig not in the lineup today. Hamstring acted up on him a little bit last night, so he may need a little bit of time. Doesn't sound like it's a disabled list kind of situation for Puig, but maybe a couple days, maybe a little bit more. Sliced foul.
I think with hamstring injuries, you only hope it's a couple of days. One of the most difficult, because the speed of Puig, this is running all out, and ran hard to first, but once he got past the bag, started limping a little bit, and then grabbed his right hamstring, lower part of the hamstring behind the knee. Came out of the game. But you run that hard, it's tough to say run slower, because he only knows one speed.
Little outside, 2-2 the count. Dodgers with an off day tomorrow, so it helps that situation a little bit. What a play! Sogard to first, got it. Heck of a play by Sogard, taking a hit away from Ethier, 2 outs.
I'm always
the dive perfect.
Yeah, I'm always amazed too. Of course, the angle is tremendous, but watch how quickly he catches and gets up. And that's something that Marcus Semien in his first season is learning to do. This catch, hit the ground, it's almost in the same motion, pops up, gets the grip of the baseball, and throws out a speedy runner. That's a tremendous play. Sogard can play some seconds. I mean, that's kind of a unifying force up the middle for he and Semien, especially for Semien, to have the continuity at second base, because Brett Lohr is playing some there. And I think Marcus can learn a lot. And for someone who has not done a lot of diving after balls and getting up, and we've seen a little bit slower movement for Marcus, but he's going to get better, and watching Sogard will help him.
1-1 to Yasmani Grandal. Grandal, 283 with 15 home runs, 44 RBIs. Did not play last night. Switch hitting catcher. Pitch there as Jesse Chavez took something off. 2-2 the count. And that one hit high in the air. Shallow center. Simeon's back there waving everybody off. He's got it. Side retired. 6 up, 6 down for Jesse Chavez. We're going to the bottom of the second.
1-0 A's lead.
Ticket plans will go on sale Friday. That's day after tomorrow, August the 21st at 10 a.m. Get on board early with 2016 priority seating and choose your exact seating location for next season. A's offer a variety of full and partial season plans that qualify for great benefits. How about this? Including half-price parking, flexible ticket exchange program, and more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/2016. And as I mentioned last night, see pitchers pitching the way they are. Great plays by Eric Sogard and hitting by Mark Canha last night. Those are good things to look forward to. And as a young fan, to look forward to a lot.
First pitch to Smolinski is hit foul right side. Smolinski, Butler, and Reddick here in the bottom of the second. He's with the run in the first.
A few of the A's players have had to deal with getting plane tickets back to AAA. That's always tough. But when Steve Scarsone said, "Hey, you going to the big leagues? Give me on the next flight out. Let's go as quick as we can."
He had a nice stretch with the A's when he was up earlier.
But actually, it became a numbers game. Numbers in a sense that the A's needed to make some moves, and also numbers in the fact that a player has an option. That means he can be sent down without having to go through waivers.
And that one leaped for and grabbed by Hernandez. 1 out. Hernandez was shaded up the middle, and he was right there. Just had to leap up to get it. So 1 away. And here's our Ford right choice. Last night, Billy Butler, his 3rd career walk-off hit. First one as a member of the Athletics. It's his hit, scored Mark Canha, and it was a 5-4 10-inning win for the Athletics. So Billy Butler, who has struggled this year, it was good to see him get a game-winning hit. It was the 6th walk-off of the year for the Athletics, and they've all been recently. Took a while for the A's to get their first one. First one was on the 10th of June. So we've had 3 in August. Butler 9 home runs, 48 RBIs. That was his only hit last night. But we talked in the post-game interview, Ray, quite a bit about maybe his at-bat earlier in the game when hit a ball to the right side, got a runner from second to third with 1 out, and he may have been trying to do that in the game-winning at-bat as well. It just went for a hit, which is best of both worlds.
Well, a lot of sliders, and the slider that was thrown that he hit to right field was up about belt high and breaking away from him. And know, the approach was tremendous. We saw him with Kansas City a lot, and we're going to see a couple of approaches last night, which helped the A's win. And this was with Mark Canha at second base, and a ground ball to the right side. Stay inside. Watch those hands. Stay inside. That was a grounder to second, and the A's ended up scoring a run to tie the game. And then this was the big one. The walk-off with a hanging breaking ball to right field. Mark Canha, who had doubled on the two-strike pitch.
Right fielder.
Reddick better watch himself.
Josh Reddick.
And I think that's always a good baseball discussion, Ray. It's like, at what point do you want an RBI guy to think about hitting the ball to the right side, or should he just try to knock the run in? And I think that's one of those fine lines. I think if it's a cleanup hitter who's got 85, 90 RBIs, well, then I think you just let him do his thing.
Well, in both instances last night, he had Canha at second, nobody out. He had Canha at second, nobody out. Yeah. So both times, and you know, if he's hitting third or fourth, that's one thing. But if he's hitting in the bottom part of the lineup, hitting sixth last night. So, and I think for his approach, if he rolls over, he's hit into a lot of double plays, and it's because he's pulling pitches that normally we had seen in the past, where he hit to right center, left center, and hit them in the air. And when you start grounding into double plays, you know your approach is not where you want it, and what he did last night was spectacular. And I still said, I said on our post game that, I mean, it will never be a sacrifice like a bunt is, but you think of a runner at second base, a guy could bunt, and he'll be awarded a sacrifice hit. But if he hits the ball to the right side, he's trying to drive him in, but also doing the same thing, advancing the runner. It's an 0 for 1 or an 0 for at bat.
There's a shot right to Gonzalez, steps on the bank, side retired. Nothing you can do there. It was headed down the right field line, but Gonzalez holding the runner, grabbed it, and it's a double play. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Sight for Sore Eyes, fashion for everyone. 1-0, top of the third from the O.Co Coliseum. Scott Van Slyke to lead it off. First pitch to Van Slyke is a strike. Peterson to follow, and then Hernandez, bottom three in the order. So 2-1 to Van Slyke, 248, 21 RBIs. Son of Andy Van Slyke.
Yeah.
Pretty good player in his day. Very good player.
Learn about outfield play. Is he still with the Mariners? I think he's first base coach.
Good fastball there as Jesse Chavez just came right at him. 3-1. Here's a fastball, and he's got it by him.
It's a great idea. He did it to Jimmy Rollins. He popped it up. This time Van Slyke swinging through the ball. Kind of came around and caught the previous pitch.
And another fastball, and Van Slyke swings and misses. So big news around the ballpark today as far as the Dodgers go. It's being reported that the Dodgers have acquired Chase Utley from the Phillies for 2 minor leaguers. And the Dodgers are picking up some of the salary of Utley, which is he's owed $6 million for the rest of this year. And with Howie Kendrick on the disabled list, that's a pretty good acquisition for the Dodgers. Of course, Utley will be a free agent after this year. He's from Southern California. He had that no trade clause, so he was really sort of in charge of where he wanted to go.
Doesn't he not live in the San Francisco area?
He lives in San Francisco. Right. You're right. I believe his wife is from here, but he's from Los Angeles. Remember, he went to UCLA.
Right. Because Joe Panik's, I guess, still in the DL, and there was some talk about the Giants trying maybe to get it. But you think about $6 million that he's owed for the rest of the year, but you know, it's a pretty hefty contract that he had. So that's pretty good rent a player if that's the case. I mean, especially if you're already paying $80 million for players you don't have, might as well get one that you're going to have.
Yeah. And again, the report we're getting is that the Dodgers are picking up $2 million of the $6 million left on that contract. So
the double play combination of Utley and Rollins returns. Be together for the final part of the season. Well, you'd have to think the Dodgers, I mean, you look at their payroll and revenue stream, they're a team that you figure is definitely going to go for it at all costs, and
should go for it every year.
That's right. And really there's no such thing as a cost.
That one tapped out in front of home plate. In fact, the $2 million that they will pick up of Utley's contract, it now puts the Dodgers payroll for this year, and this includes all the money they're putting out to players that aren't even with them anymore, at $307 million. So of which over 80, I believe, or close to 80, is to players that are not even in their uniform. So that's another way to be able to flex your financial muscles. It's just
they're paying a lot for him.
They're paying a lot for Kent.
Yeah, but think about it. They've still made 33 on the local TV.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, even the numbers that we're throwing out there, the $300 million payroll, it doesn't matter.
No, nothing in it,
because they have plenty more. So that's the way it is for the Dodgers this year, and it's always going to be that way. Watch the timeout call by Jacques Peterson. This has been an issue in this series. Watch how late it is.
And Jesse's always ready to go. And this is
Jesse kicks, and you know what? He should not get awarded
There's
time.
no way. Because Jesse's ready. It's Peterson who's taking the time. Same with Canna last night. He took the time. Kershaw was ready.
Once the pitcher lifts up that leg, there should be no time allowed. And that one foul back. And again, and I think we always should make this point, the hitter just requests time by putting his hand up. The umpire has to then give him time. So it's really kind of a two-step process.
And you know, it really, for Peterson and Canada the same way, and we have to say the same about both, because it's as if they want to get just set perfectly.
Close pitch, ball the ball, and Jesse can't believe it. He stared off toward first base for just a moment.
Well, it's called inside. It did come back, not enough, according to Tim Timmons. It's the black part of the plate. They could take their broom, because the plate has a black rim around it, which is part of the plate. They should expose that, because there are some pitches that I think that's why they're credited with a half a baseball or baseball off the plate, because of the black around the plate. 17-inch wide plate. See, you don't see it around here. There's a black rim that goes around, but it's always covered because if you exposed it, then you'd have an indentation of the plate and that black part. But essentially, the plate is that plus the black on both sides.
Thus the term painting black.
That's right. I was just thinking of that.
There's a reason for that term.
And you know what I mentioned about the umpires, they are graded according to strikes and all that, but they are allowed a certain size of a baseball on either side, left and right, east and west, but that also includes that black part that really is not shown to everybody, including the fans, or us in the case of the direct shot.
The 1-1 to Kike Hernandez. Peterson, the first base runner for the Dodgers. Hernandez playing second base today. And it sounds like, in reading about the Dodgers the last couple days, with the acquisition of Utley, until Kendrick comes back, obviously Utley's going to play second base, but what Hernandez has become, Ray, is kind of a super utility guy, and he's a pretty good center fielder, and they would like to be able to give John Peterson a rest. Peterson's really been struggling, and that's been going on for almost 2 months now. And they may sit Peterson occasionally and play Hernandez in center field. Reddick coming in. He will settle underneath it.
The thing that Fegley did on this pitch was outstanding. He wanted the high fastball, but watch as he gets ready to give the sign or the target. Fegley kind of comes up in the zone, and this is. He's going to give the sign, and then watch. I mean, this kid likes to swing at everything. Watch, he's going to go right up the ladder right there. Perfect. Just waited right at the end and throws it up in the zone and gets under it. Can't drive it because it's so high off the plate. But sometimes you don't want to show what you're doing too early. And Fegley did it perfectly as Jesse was getting ready to throw.
So Jimmy Rollins steps in for his second at bat. Rollins fouled out to Valencia in the first inning. Valencia playing even with the bat. Rollins takes a little bit low. Rollins will be a free agent at the end of this year. The Dodgers quite possibly could have a completely new middle infield next year because Kendrick is a free agent, Rollins is a free agent, and with Utley coming aboard, Utley is a free agent. And the Dodgers' top prospect and one of the best prospects in baseball, Corey Seager, the younger brother of Kyle Seager, the third baseman for the Mariners. Everybody seems to think that Corey Seager is going to be a terrific player. He's a shortstop, and he's in AAA with the Dodgers, and he will probably be their shortstop next year.
He's one of the rare untouchables. We talk about the 4 Yankees that were untouchables.
That one's belted to right. Reddick spins around, turns around, and it's gone. Jimmy Rollins, a 2-run homer with 2 outs here in the third, and the Dodgers take the 2-1 lead.
Now Jesse's really going to be upset with the ball 4 to Peterson, because it gave him a fastball to hit, came right back to the middle of the plate, and look at the location. It was thigh high, and Jimmy Rollins saw last night why Venditti pitched against him to bat right-handed, to lefty facing right-handed, because of the power that he's shown hit at the left side, and that's what we remember about Jimmy Rollins and his power.
Crawford shoots one towards Simeon, who grabs it. Side retired. Jimmy Rollins, his 12th home run of the year. It's a 2-run shot, and it gives the Dodgers a 2-1 lead after 2.5.
and Eric Sogard with your very own striped Sox backpack presented by Chevron Techron Advantage credit card on Monday, September the 7th. 15,000 fans receiving a stylish backpack modeled after the preferred footwear of Sonny and Sogi. Get your Labor Day tickets now at athletics.com/tickets, or you can call 877-493-BALL.
So Dodgers now have a 2-1 lead thanks to the Rollins home run. Simeon, Sogard, and Burns against Alex Wood. The start was supposed to be Matt Latos for the Dodgers, but they switched it to Alex Wood, and they have put Latos in the bullpen for a little bit. That one's belted toward left center, but in the ballpark. Peterson makes the catch. I said the Dodgers have an off day tomorrow, and then they will be in Houston for 3, and then an off day Monday, and then in Cincinnati for 3. So with those off days, and they weren't real happy with the way Latos has been pitching, so they put him in the bullpen and see if he can maybe straighten a few things out and get him back in the rotation after this road trip. And quite frankly, if you have Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw, you want them pitching on 4 days rest every time through the rotation. That's how good those two are.
And it's smart. They will be pitching every 5th day. Eric Sogard will go back to his normal striped socks tomorrow.
Greinke or Kershaw starts 113 and 55. That's the last 3 years. Any other pitcher starts 140 and 35. More action for Peterson again into left center field, and he grabs that one 2 away.
Now Eric Sogard supporting his pitcher Eric Chavez, and by wearing the high socks, and normally you see the striped socks, but we've seen Stephen Vogt do that. Much different look in today's world. I'd like to see that there. They look a little bit better out in Eric Sogard. He's got some calf definition.
And calf definition's important.
Yeah. Kevin, you're talking about the rotation of the Dodgers. How about the Toronto Blue Jays? Drew Hutchinson, 12-2, because they have off days. They only need a 4-man rotation. He got optioned out. Yeah. And very rare that you see somebody with that kind of a record get set, but it's 12 options.
A little flare. Ethier comes in. He's got it, and a very easy inning for Alex Wood. He needed just 8 pitches to retire the A's. 3 up, 3 down. 3 innings in the books. It's 2-1 Dodgers. CSN Authentic Fan Fridays are back at the Coliseum, and we got one for you this Friday with the Rays in town. Get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate. An authentic A's grab bag at your card and a $6 food and drink voucher. It's all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is CSN's Authentic Fan Friday. The Rays will be in town. The Rays are right in the mix. They're 3 games behind the second wild card spot, which right now is the Angels in the American League. So the Rays hanging around, even though they're under 500. See, we were in St. Petersburg in May.
Kevin Cash, their first-year manager, has them playing well, as they always seem to play well, even though they seem to give up a lot of players, but they continue to develop players. They drafted well whenever they were finishing in the bottom part of the standings.
Sogard on the backhand, flips to first. So Adrian Gonzalez is 0 for 2. 1 away here in the 4th inning. John Jaso's back playing. He was not playing when we saw them in May. And I think we talked about the fact that the Rays were struggling to score runs back then, and the fact that they missed Jaso.
Sure.
Jaso's a good hitter.
Yes, he is.
He's been leading off for them and DHing.
It'd be rare to see him ever catch again. Back-to-back years with head injuries and concussions.
First pitch strike to Justin Turner, who flied out to left field his first at bat in the 2nd inning. I think we mentioned it yesterday about Dave Dombrowski has a job, huh?
Yeah.
Dombrowski let go as the general manager of the Tigers not long ago. He is now with the Boston Red Sox.
According to reports, he's going in as president, and Ben Cherington is not going to stay on as a general manager.
How about that?
Yeah.
So somebody will get the GM job, work under Dave Dombrowski. So Dave with the Red Sox. That's interesting, and it happened quickly.
Well, he and John Henry were together before. I think with the Expos, before the Expos came to Washington and Miami. So all those things transpired. And so the connection between those two evidently was there, and now they're together again.
A 1-out walk to Turner. Walk number 2 for Jesse Chavez.
Seeing more and more, though, where there's a president in baseball operations and then a general manager.
That's the thing now.
Yeah. It's about the 5th or 6th club I can think of, at least that many, and probably more in the works.
Dodgers have like 6 GMs, don't they? They have a whole bunch of people.
Yes, they do. They can do anything they want.
Bunch of decision makers. But the Red Sox, 53 and 66, so they've been a major disappointment after spending a lot of money in the offseason. Taps slowly. Sogard has it. He'll get the out at first, and that's the 2nd out, with Turner now at 2nd base. Sogard just had to charge it enough where he wanted to get the sure out at first instead of trying for the play at 2nd.
Number 9.
And that's experience where you're not trying to do too much. He could have caught the ball and flipped it with a backhand, and might have also hit the runner. Just get the sure out. And now try to get the 3rd out with the runner at 2nd base. Try to do that with Grandal, which he popped up to shortstop in his first at bat.
First pitch to Grandal is a fastball up and away. Rollins with a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, and that's what the Dodgers do. They lead the National League in home runs hit, 148 now. And the last 3 teams that the A's have faced have all relied big time on the home run. Blue Jays, Orioles, and now the Dodgers. Strike called, 1-2. Grandal didn't agree. 14th straight game today that the A's have allowed a home run. And they're generally pretty good at keeping the ball in the ballpark as a pitching staff, but it's been a tough stretch. To pitch. A little bit outside, so the count even 2-2.
But if you look at statistics as far as especially home runs you start getting a latter part of the season, let's look at how many times you elevate a fastball that normally you don't at the beginning of the season because you're stronger. Start losing a little bit, start pushing the ball. The ball gets up, unlike that one.
And that one is ripped into the right field corner, but it's foul.
Enough of an off-speed pitch. Grandal got out in front. He started to walk back to the dugout. I guess he either thought he broke his bat or it was surprising why he was headed towards the dugout.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
And I think it is his bat. He figured he broke it in the handle. And that's why he was going back to retrieve his own bat, not knowing that the bat boys do their job and they always have the extra one.
Got it off the end.
Yeah. See above his hand. He probably felt it in his hand. And otherwise, he's not walking back to the dugout when he knew the ball was fouled.
So 2-2. Grandal takes that curveball. Grandal got to the Dodgers from the Padres in that Matt Kemp trade. He was originally a Cincinnati Red. He went from the Reds to the Padres in the Edison Volquez trade. Matt Latos trade. Latos was the main guy in that trade. He traded a couple times in big player trades. This one's popped up. Valencia over. Stops. He's got it. And Jesse Chavez gets out of the jam, and Turner is stranded at second, and we're going to the bottom of the fourth. Canna, Valencia, and Fegley to hit. 2-1 Dodgers. It is time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag CSNCA DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Beautiful day for baseball at the Coliseum. And the A's trailing 2-1, and it's the bottom of the fourth inning. Canada lead it off against Alex Wood. Alex Wood coming over at the trade deadline from the Atlanta Braves. The second-round pick of the Braves back in 2012. A very interesting delivery.
Yeah. We saw Ubaldo Jimenez of the Orioles back in Baltimore. He drops his straight down, but Wood throws this towards the shortstop when he winds up. Actually, maybe towards the hitter. He really wraps it.
A little hesitation there. Went to the University of Georgia.
They have him under control for quite a while.
Yeah. And a swing, says Tim Welke.
Canna tried to sell it, but it looked like he did on the check swing. Went quite a ways through it. Watch there, and then brings it back quickly. And I think the side shot will show exactly what Welke saw. And a good call.
2-2 now to Canna, who singled in the first, helped the A's get a first and third situation, and they got a run in that inning.
Alex Wood is ready. Grandal is ready.
Canna's not.
Timmons is ready.
I'm surprised, to be honest with you. The umpires don't say anything to Mark Canna, and he strikes out there. That's the first strikeout for Alex Wood. One away here in the fourth.
This part's okay, but watch what the left hand does. It wraps around behind him and then goes forward to long stride and pull the string. Little slider in the dirt, and another off-speed pitch. This one, though, no contact.
Here's Valencia. 5 in a row retired by Alex Wood. Valencia got the RBI in the first inning. Fielder's choice. So Wood settling in a little bit here, so he's trying to take him out of his rhythm. I was watching Wood when we showed that slow motion delivery. You see some pitchers, Ray, who throw off a stiff front leg.
Yeah.
Wood is the exact opposite. When you watch his front leg when he delivers, I mean, he just drops it and it's bent. And you see other guys where that front leg is completely stiff when they deliver. And that's a good pitch, 2-2. He's throwing that slider and it's just catching the outside corner.
It's the back door, and Tim Timmons waiting the call and just having Grandal bring it in a little bit better. Pitchers are now graded on how they frame pitches, and what Grandal is doing, that's not framing, that's just bringing a pitch out of the strike zone into the strike zone, and a quick movement, hoping the umpire is calling the pitch late.
So full count, Fegley to follow. Ball's tapped foul on that one. That pitch that's been called a strike, and that may have been why Valencia felt like he needed to go after it. Valencia with a couple of hits last night, 2 for 5. Turner spins and throws, and they got Valencia. So the bounce, and Gonzalez made the play.
I always think that's a good play, and Turner to his left spins and bounces it, and we saw Mark Canna miss a ball like that in Baltimore, but Adrian Gonzalez, a very good first baseman, but Turner not trying to throw and airmail the ball, gets the bounce far enough out in front, and Gonzalez stays with it. Makes a nice play. Guys actually work on doing that. Amazing, but they do, and that's not a bad play.
Fegley just got a piece of it, rolls back behind home plate.
A's did not do a lot of hitting until late last night, including Fegley, part of that with a double to left center. Today, 2 hits the first inning, but nothing since.
That breaking ball, Fegley lays off and it drops low. Pitch number 50 coming up for Wood. The pitch count not too bad. It works quickly. won 11 games last year for the Braves. And an ERA under 3.
Hanging breaking ball just got away with. That was one I'm sure Fegley would like to have had back. Fegley back-to-back games. Stephen Vogt back-to-back off days plus tomorrow.
The 2 pitch is lifted down the right field line, but foul. Well, the soft spot for the Dodgers is their bullpen minus their closer, who's very good, Kenley Jansen. But he's found out last night that is the area where you can get to the Dodgers. It's that 7th and 8th inning. It's been a problem for them, and it was last night. I say that just because Wood and the pitch count and where he's at.
Well, Kershaw should have pitched 8 if he's going to. Yep. Jensen. I guess when you invest a lot of money in a pitcher, you don't want to wear him out. Extend maybe beyond when he normally pitches. But it's been an issue. The A's trying to figure out their bullpen, and the Dodgers, as you mentioned, it's tough for them as well. And Kershaw got a no decision. He pitched well, 5 singles in 7 innings. And asking some of the Dodgers, they have never seen him react the way he did last night. So we have a chance to see for the first time.
Jimmy Rollins leaps up, grabs it, side retired. 7 in a row retired for Alex Wood. And we're going to the 5th inning. It's the Dodgers 2 and the A's 1.
Chance to meet a second baseman Eric Sogard. Eric will be signing autographs at the Xfinity Store, 31055 Courthouse Drive in Union City, August 22nd. That's a Saturday, 11 a.m. to noon. This opportunity is limited to the first 150 fans, so make sure you get there early. Maybe tonight. For Saturday 11, today's Wednesday. Let's get there early. Buy some items at the Xfinity Store. Get ready for Sogard. Come to the fireworks that night.
So the only blemish for Jesse Chavez, a 2-run homer by Jimmy Rollins. That was in the 3rd inning. He's walked 2, struck out 2. And he just wishes he could have that 1 pitch back.
Or have Jock Peterson called out on the 1 pitch that he thought was a strike. It was 3-2. Evidently off the plate. Tim Timmons called it that way.
1-1 the count to Van Slyke, who struck out in the 3rd inning. And he went around. Yes, he did. Tim Timmons calls it himself, the plate umpire. Just one hit for the Dodgers, and it was that home run.
Off speed and definitely fooled him.
Outside, but not by much. Fastball up and away, and Van Slyke hits it that way.
For Jesse Chavez, his 22nd start, that's an important number because last year after 21 starts he was sent to the bullpen. A little bit different this year as he stays in the rotation. Be interesting to see if he does remain there for the rest of the season. And if so, pitches like that, he's going to do well.
And a good pitch, and Van Slyke strikes out for the second time. 3 strikeouts for Chavez.
But I don't think there's any doubt that Jesse wanted to stay in the rotation last year, but when the A's acquired Samardzija, Hamels, and Lester, that changed the rotation considerably. That's kind of like the screwball. The little two-seam fastball starts outside, took something off the pitch, and froze Van Slyke for strike 3. See how the movement. That's the one that he fouled back. That was the cutter, and then he brought another one from the outside in. So 2 different type of pitches, one away, one coming back in.
First pitch, strike to Peterson. Walk and a run scored so far today. Peterson was 0 for 2 with 3 walks in last night's game. And that one hit high and foul.
If you're thinking back to the last at bat where Peterson called timeout late, we saw it last night with Todd Tischner behind the plate. I would think from an umpire standpoint, if you want the pace of game to be good, crisp, and have those times show up as a positive on your ledger, last thing you want to do is call timeout. Let him pitch. I mean, if the pitcher's ready, you tell the hitter he's ready, let's go, and not grant him timeout. Maybe that was just enough to affect Jesse because he ended up walking Peterson after he started mowing 2. Jesse does a good job of not showing his emotions. He might be upset with the pitch that was not called, but you never see him react towards the umpire.
Yeah, I can't think of a time where, again, we can't hear the umpire. He just told the hitter, let's go, get in there, we're ready.
But usually the pitcher establishes the pace of the game.
Yeah. That one rolled over as Sogard grabs it. Close play. Peterson runs extremely well, but the out is recorded, and that's 2 away here in the top of the 5th.
And there's a case where if Peterson used the opposite field, that might be a different story, but instead he got the pitch outside and rolled over, exactly what Jesse wanted him to do.
Yeah, he's really struggling.
He had 23 home runs as a rookie. You're going to be pitched differently.
No question.
Scouting reports have followed you, and in today's world with the video and the reports.
Driven toward Burns, who gets going to his left, and he makes the catch. And Jesse Chavez has retired 5 in a row. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It'll be Smolitsky, Butler, and Reddick. 2-1 Dodgers lead. Tonight at 5:30, the Quakes travel to Kansas City to take on Sporting KC. The home of authentic earthquakes is CSN. Check it out. It's coming up tonight right here on Comcast Sportsnet California. Smelinski takes the first pitch strike to open up the bottom of the 5th inning. He lined out to the second baseman in his first at bat. Hayes just had 2 hits, so only 3 total hits in the game. There has not been an error. Changeup stayed outside. Turner has it near the bag. Throws across, throws high, and Gonzalez came down with his foot on the bat. So Adrian Gonzalez, a very good defensive first baseman, showed it off there.
Turner again, as he did last night, high chopper and low throw to second for what should have been a double play. High throw here, maybe trying to compensate, make the adjustment. Going, please catch it, otherwise it's going to be a 3-base error. But just in time to get the foot down. You're right, Gonzalez, a good hitter, but also a very good first baseman, good glove man around the bag.
Good enough to win 4.
Yep.
Want to know to Billy Butler on the outside corner. Yes, Wood is getting that call today from Tim Timmons. And he's staying with that area. Another late call for timeout, and again, it's just too late. I mean, watch Wood. He has started, and then timeout is called. And there's the request.
You know what might be the problem is that the hitter, well, in the case of Peterson, he wants to get set. Butler gets set early, and he does not want to stay in that position. So you have different approaches by hitters. But if guys just kind of waggle the bat, just try to stay loose, then they get set as the pitcher's ready to go. You wouldn't have the late timeouts.
So 2-1 the count. Reddick to follow here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Strike called, and the count is 2-2.
If he's getting that, why would he ever think about going inside? Back door with a changeup, back door with a slider, and Grandal holding the ball in the strike zone after bringing it up about 6 inches.
Wow. I don't know.
Timmons shaking his head. Somebody must have yelled at him because it may happen differently in the
I just think once that the motion starts by the pitcher, then there should not be timeout called. 3-2 now to Butler. Butler walked in the 2nd inning, and he walks again. Breaks the stretch of 8 consecutive A's hitters retired.
Now maybe when Josh Reddick hits, Reddick hits another rope, it would not be at the first baseman. That resulted in a double play. Maybe we should say the Reddick socks because he's got the striped socks on.
Yes, he does. He's trying it out today.
Bruce probably put the striped socks in everybody's locker. Just maybe every once in a while you decide you want to wear them.
First pitch to Reddick is in for a strike. The Rangers beat the Mariners today 7-2. Texas takes 2 out of 3 at home from Seattle. And another strike, and it's 0-2. The Rangers went back to back to back in that game, and they did it off Joe Bible. Moreland, Napoli, and Anders did it. Big news for the Rangers in that game was the return of Derek Holland, who pitched into the 7th inning. He had 8 strikeouts, and he got the win. Nice play. Hernandez flips to Rollins, who jumps, grabs the ball, and then comes down to keep his foot on the bag. So the fielder's choice for Reddick, and a nice play by Kike Hernandez.
Hernandez must know that really Butler can fly, because he flipped it like, well, Butler stopped a little short, but a little bit more time for Hernandez to make the play to second. But Rollins did the best thing by catching the ball, making sure he got one out by putting his foot on the bag.
So now Reddick aboard, but with 2 outs, and Simeon hits.
I think Hernandez knows about the early trade.
Good question. Nice play, Gonzalez, and he'll take it himself. Took a hit away from Simeon. So Adrian Gonzalez flashing the leather here in the 5th inning, and we're on to the 6th. 2-1 Dodgers. '74 World Series. We just can't see this enough. I just can't see it enough. Well over the barbecue terrace, a no-doubter. And that's my man Ray Fosse.
Hanging curveball. Those things always.
There's a painted seat up there somewhere, and it says, "This is where Ray Fosse's home run landed."
Yeah.
In the World Series 1974. Canna on the backhand, so Rollins goes after the first pitch, and that is out number 1. Serious. Let's see. All right, let's watch close. So a fan made a good effort, gentleman with the tie on, and then it bounced back toward the railing. So it looks like maybe 3 rows up. I got to get my binoculars out. You know what? And if you look close at that seat, it's painted just a little bit of a different color. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. See?
Yeah,
see that mark right there? That's where the ball hit.
It's number 1, right?
And
number 1 seat. It was Rudy's home run off Mike Marshall that it's the game winner.
Quite a series. That's a series you guys only used 5 pitchers.
5 pitchers. Yeah. Catfish got a save in game 1. Raleigh fielded Von Joshua's ground ball. Yeah, it was amazing. lot of fun.
So 1-2 to Carl Crawford, who has struck out and grounded out so far.
Yeah, and after winning 72, 73, 74, Charlie said keep it alive in 75. He had it all planned, but it just didn't work out. A team called the Boston Red Sox. Changed everything that year.
Pitch of the afternoon, and it's a swing and a miss by Crawford, and that is strikeout number 4 for Jesse Chavez. So the last out of the 1974 World Series right here at the Coliseum.
Number 23.
Watch Bando. Watch this. I had neck surgery that year too. That was Sal jumping up, but it was a celebration that was always nice. A World Series.
Herb Washington in that photo.
Angel Manuel. Remember Reggie missed the 72 World Series with a hamstring injury, and MVP in 73, came back in 74. Raleigh, the Hall of Famer, the MVP in 74.
Hit hard right at Canna. So an 8-pitch inning, and that's 8 in a row retired by Jesse Chavez. Now let's see if the A's can get their offense going. They trail 2-1.
First rewind, first inning for the Athletics. That was the high chopper. Turner, low throw to second. The relay called safe. Challenge. Billy Burns scored. That was it. And after a walk, first batter reached base. Jesse Chavez, a 2-run home run to Jimmy Rollins. That's the difference in the game. 2-1. Dodgers over the Athletics, and that is the bottom of the 6th inning. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. And let's just hope for Jesse Chavez, whose first start this year was on April the 23rd. It was an error, and then a 2-run home run by Cole Calhoun, and the A's lost the game, and that was it. Down in Anaheim. The A's just need to find a way to score some runs, get some hits, and actually get some base runners.
And Alex Woods pitching well also, and he faces Sogard, Burns, and Canna here in the 6th inning. Sogard rips one to right. That's a base hit. So good start. A little hanging breaking ball looked like. And Sogard gets the A's 3rd hit, and that's a leadoff single.
I always think that helps a left-handed hitter, left-handed pitcher. The hanging breaking ball, and he's opening up anyway. What he does is drag the bat through, and in this case, a line drive by Eric Sogard. So he's played great defensively, and now he's added a leadoff single in the 6th.
So Burns steps in, a single and a fly ball to right field. Turner a couple steps in on the grass at 3rd. Big gap in right center. Burns with a bunt attempt, and looked like he was trying to push it toward first, and it's not a bad idea. And I say that because, again, a left-handed pitcher falls off right to the third base side, and sometimes it's hard for them to turn around and get back over to be involved in a play on the right side of the diamond.
And the first baseman has to hold the runner longer, so you have the whole right side usually open in this case. But the question, if he's going to sacrifice, he has to square around. And not necessarily try to bunt for a base hit. He may get a base hit by squaring around just because of the speed. At worst, he would advance the runner because you don't have a lot of time to think about what you're going to do if Burns gets the bunt down.
And Hernandez, the second baseman, is playing way over by second base.
And he's got to cover first. If
I don't know if he could.
He can't. I don't think he can get there. He's playing as if Burns is going to swing the bat.
And that one is hit toward left center field. That's a base hit. Peterson can't cut it off. He kicks it. And they're going to wave Sogard around. And he will score. Peterson got to it, but then he juggled it, and really that allowed Sogard enough time to come all the way around to score, and this game is tied at 2.
Tried one bunt, got the breaking ball, and went down to bring it into left center, and great call because playing shallow as Peterson over towards right center, cut it off left center, and a bad hop, and whenever he kept kicking it, Eric Sogard did not break stride. And that's the big outfielder's glove. Still got him up in the heel of the glove. And Billy Burns never a pitch that he didn't like. And Eric Sogard saw in front of him. He's going to third. And watch the third base coach, because guys can see what the outfielder is doing or not doing. You don't have to look at the outfielder. Gags will tell you.
So here's Canna. Still nobody out. And Canna hits one behind the bag at second. Throw to first. Not in time. And it's first and third. Nobody out. Canna runs well, and you could see where Hernandez fielded it. He was going to have a tough time throwing Canna out, and he could not do it.
Well, he talked about all the infield hits for Billy Burns. Mark Canna is in that same category, maybe not as many number-wise, but he does not hesitate getting out of the box. Great opportunity for him to do what Billy Butler did last night, hit it to the right side. He's going to advance the runner, but he finds himself on first base as well with an infield hit. Hernandez just could not throw the ball quickly enough. Gonzalez doing a smart job coming off the bag to keep the ball from going past him. And that quickly, all this happening in this inning. It was the 8th inning last night, 6th inning this afternoon.
You know what, Ray? I think Hernandez made this play more difficult than he should have. He should have backhanded it.
Yeah, you're right. And that's what Mike Gallego talks about whenever you're making the play, and we've seen infielders do that. That's a great point, because the momentum took him by catching the ball in front of him.
If you backhand it, your momentum stops quicker than it does if you try to slide over and get in front of it. And I think he would have had a much better play and a much better chance to make an accurate throw. And I think it would have been a quicker throw to first base if he would have just stopped, backhanded it, and just threw to first. Instead, he was fighting to try to get in front of it.
Well, Mike Gallego, and he's saying to Sogard, watch me. I'll tell you what the outfielder's what's happening. Is he jumping over Turner so he can see him? But really, the thing that a runner should never do is look to the outfield. It's going to slow you down, and you can assume a ball is going to be caught. You're going to slow down. But you run hard at Gags, and he'll send you the rest of the way if that's the case.
First pitch to Valencia is that breaking ball. This time it stays outside. So the A's have tied it, and now they get a great chance to take the lead. First and third, nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Action now out in the Dodgers bullpen. That's Chris Hatcher. Dodgers used 4 relievers last night, and it was not a good night for their bullpen.
If Dodgers are playing the A's, it's important to have a guy on the Dodgers named Hatcher, I guess.
Hit hard to Rollins. Out at second. The throw to first in time. Double play. But Burns comes in to score, and the A's have taken a 3-2 lead. Valencia hit that ball hard, but it was right at Rollins. And a really easy double play, but the A's do get the lead.
Well, I guess it's a difference in a ball game. Again, the infield playing back. And well, they have pitched that a lot of times. Valencia hit the ball in the air towards left center, but this time on the ground, and it was tailor-made. Good throw this time from Rollins to Hernandez, and that was as tailor-made as it was. The A's do take the lead.
First pitch to Fegley away. Fegley has hit into a double play and lined to short. A couple of runs on 3 hits for the A's here in the 6th inning.
Scotty's back down in the bullpen. He was subbing last night for Christian, who had to have some school. So
school?
Yeah, he's going to school. Christian. I said, why would you miss school to come out for a game against the Dodgers? He said he would have, but it was the first day of school, so he wanted to make sure he college. You know.
Well, I guess that's important.
Yeah. So Christian and Austin back in the bat boy duties, and learned everything from Matt and Cliffy, of course.
And let me tell you something. You can learn a lot from Matt and Cliffy.
That's right. That's right. Learn a lot right now from them. And they're not even bat boys. Now they've been called bat men.
Words of wisdom from those two guys every day. And there's the walk. Walk number 3 issued by Wood. He has struck out 1. And here's Smolinski. They're looking down there. Hatcher's still throwing, and that's going to be it.
Now batting, left fielder, number 5, Jake.
So Don Mattingly has seen Alex Wood give up the lead here in the 6th inning, and he has seen enough. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Hatcher coming in.
Presented by Chevron, Saturday, August 22nd. That's this Saturday. It's coming up quickly. All encouraged to wear your Star Wars costumes and enjoy the post-game show from the outfield grass. Those space is limited, as always, and you can purchase a special ticket package to receive an R2-D2 beanie. Visit athletics.com/Star Wars for more information. I cannot wait to see the beanie. I'm sure they'll be passed around up here in the press box, and everybody get their own beanies. B.I. be wearing one with a sweatshirt. Vinny be wearing one for 18. Oh, that's all. 1 day late. We'll have to give him a beanie early for 18. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, Korak may need to keep warm too for 18.
That's true too. Yeah.
Keep Kenny warm.
This Friday night. We'll get beanies for him.
Don't want him to be cold. So here's Chris Hatcher. 29th appearance for Hatcher. Right-hander. With the Marlins. First year now with the Dodgers, coming over in that big trade. D. Gordon was sent to Miami.
Got a good arm. He'll finish guys with a split, but I think D. Gordon, the Marlins got a pretty good player in D. Gordon.
Yeah, when it was all said and done, the trade really was a 3-team deal, and it was the Dodgers got a young left-handed pitcher by the name of Andrew Heaney, and then they flipped Heaney to the Angels for Howie Kendrick. So that's how it all came about. There was quite a few names involved. I think it was still a surprise that D. Gordon was traded. 0-2 pitch is popped up right side of the diamond. It'll be Gonzalez, the first baseman, who is under it. He makes the catch. Side retired. A's get 2 on 3 hits, so the A's now lead 3-2 as we go to the 7th inning.
Is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, home of the most live sports. And by Black Bear Diner, feed your inner bear.
Well, Jesse Chavez now has a lead, and for a good share this season, Ray, he has not had a huge amount of run support. Been a couple games where the A's have kind of gone off offensively, scored a whole bunch of runs, but for the most part he's pitched in tight games. But now he's got a lead, and it's the 7th inning, and he's retired 8 in a row. His first pitch to Turner is a bit high, so the pitch count right now for Jesse is sitting at 87.
And the bullpen has been worked a lot. This last night they brought 6 innings. The bullpen went 4. I know on the recent road trip the bullpen was used a lot. So nice for Jesse to go at least 7 and maybe even go to the 8th depending on the pitch count. A's have tomorrow off, so a few of the pitchers will be able to be backed up, get an extra day.
His last 2 starts he's thrown 106 and 104. If he could somehow have a quick inning here in the 7th, maybe he could go out there for the 8th, but he's got work to do here in the 7th. Looks like, Ray, he's got a pretty good fastball today. I mean, I'm not talking throwing 94, 95, but it looks like the swings are just a little bit late.
And he's keeping the ball away from the right-handers, which is good because he knows the power they have. It's the R2D2 Beanie. No, he's got a tail.
It's Daniel Boone Beanie. Valencia has it, flips it across, out number 1. So 9 in a row retired by Chavez, and now Andre Ethier steps up.
Now batting, number 16, Andre Ethier.
A nice ground ball out for Jesse, which is always good. Keep the ball on the ground. Jesse gave up 1 in the air, which happened to be a 2-run home run.
Ethier has grounded out twice to Sogard. Really everybody in this lineup for the Dodgers, you have to be careful because they can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
And because Don Mattingly said the infield play back, try to get a double play. They've done it twice. This a little bit later, being the 6th inning, but they did turn the double play. The A's took the lead. But if you have home run power, the potential to tie a game with one swing, you can afford to not have a big inning open by playing the infield back.
And a good pitch there, called a strike. Ethier disagrees. So 1-2. There's the home runs, 148. Already more than last year. So Big Mac's okay with that. Defense pretty much straight away for Ethier. And that one's hit high in the air. Right center. Reddick and Burns have room. 2 outs. A little scary moment there off the crack of the bat.
Change up, fortunately, a little bit towards the end of the bat. And Ethier looking, and yes, he took something off, and you can see just enough towards the end and in the air enough. Prevailing wind, left to right, right to left, depending which flags you look at. But this one kept in the park, and the height of it was what helped Jesse Chavez, who was happy that it came down the glove of Josh Reddick.
Big swing by Yasmani Grandal. Grandal 0 for 2. He's popped to short and fouled to third. Lays off that changeup. Open quiet for the A's. Good pitch. Drops in there with another off-speed pitch to the inside corner. And now the crowd starting to make some noise. Over 26,000 this afternoon on a gorgeous day.
Number 100 coming up. And I agree with you. He gets quick out with Grandal. Try to keep him in the park. 8th inning might be something for him.
Canna, he's got it. He will flip to Jesse Chavez, side retired. 11 in a row retired by the A's right-hander. So he is rolling along, and the A's lead 3-2 as we reach the 7th inning stretch. Playoff history for the Dodgers. They're currently in first place in the National League West. They've won the West each of the last 2 seasons, but they have never reached the playoffs in 3 straight seasons. That's hard to believe. And of course, you got to go back to 1988 for their last World Series title, also their last World Series appearance. So they've struggled some when it comes to the postseason. If you just look at the last couple years, in 2013 they lost the league championship series to St. Louis. Last year they lost the division series to the Cardinals. And Clayton Kershaw has struggled some. Yasiel Puig, coming into this year, said, Giants aren't our rivals, it's the Cardinals.
And that was beat him in postseason.
Butler grounds it to Rollins, who throws across. So Butler is retired, 1 out.
Well, last year, pretty special season. Kershaw, the no-hitter. Also, remember Josh Beckett was pitching for the Dodgers, and
that's right.
Pitched a no-hitter. 2 on the same team, something that's rarely done. First of all, to pitch 1 hitter, no-hitter in the season, then they have 2 different pitchers pitch them.
Here's Reddick.
Hey, it looks like Jesse Chavez is going to start the 8th inning. The bullpen is quiet for the A's.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, the Dodgers, in their history, have won 6 World Championships. 1 in Brooklyn, that was in 1955, and 5 in Los Angeles. Turner fires, and they just got Reddick on a very close play. A couple of ground ball outs for Chris Hatcher here in the 7th inning.
Well, it's squaved off the end of the bat, and Justin Turner, who's had his problems throwing, but this one perfect and charging a ball that was hit off the end of the bat and gets Reddick by a stride.
Here's Simeon, who is 0 for 2. So 5 hits in the game for the A's, just 1 for the Dodgers. First pitch to Simeon is a strike. And now 0-2. Simeon was robbed of a hit in the 5th inning. Gonzalez made a diving play to his right at first base. Would have been a base hit to right field. Defense straight away for Simeon.
Taking more and more all the hard work that Marcus Simeon is putting in even before a game. It's almost like when the game starts, it's a relaxing time for him, because spring training guys work hard in the morning and then play the games and put all the work in before the game start. And for Reddick, or for Simeon to be doing that during the season, give him a lot of credit, especially since his game really has not suffered at the plate. Reasonable numbers for him in his first full season.
Hatcher on in relief of Alex Wood, who ended up to 3 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. Fastball is high at 96 miles an hour. Two pitch is hit hard to Rollins, who has it. Side retired. 3 up, 3 down inning, 3 ground ball out. So we're on to the 8th. What's going to happen in the final 2 innings? A's hanging on to a 3-2 lead.
Season in 2015 with the MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. At MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or your tablet.
So it is another good ball game, and Jesse Chavez back to work. He's facing his former teammate Alberto Callaspo, who is pinch hitting for Van Slyke. Here's Callaspo, switch hitter. 1-1. Jesse Chavez working into the 8th inning. His career high in innings pitched in any one start is 8 innings. He's gone 8 twice this year. He did it once last year. There's a strike, 1-2. Peterson to follow, and then Hernandez, the bottom 3 in the order. Changeup. It's been a decent pitch for him today.
And especially floating away, he got Peterson to roll over on the changeup in his at-bat. Last one, which on a 3-2.
And he got him. So Fegley picks up the baseball, flips it around, and it was a called strike 3.
A very slow developing called strike 3.
Slow motion.
Just like that pitch. Curveball, backhand, drop. Tim Timmons, step back, on it, strike 3. And Fegley just kind of casually went after the ball as Callaspo did not run to first base.
And it certainly looked like a good pitch.
Yeah, back door.
So 1 out. Be careful here. Peterson with 23 home runs. And he swings for the fences pretty much every time, and you know he's thinking about it here. There's a broken bat line drive into the glove of Simeon, 2 away. It was hit pretty hard, but immediately after, Peterson looked at his bat, and it sounded like it cracked.
Hit it off the end of bat just enough, but hit it well, trying to go that direction instead of rolling over. I mean, you're really looking at available bodies in the bullpen. There are some that aren't available. Fernando pitched last night. Bod's right hand actually got him not so much on the wrist, but the immediate part of the hand. But that was on his non-throwing hand.
So first pitch strike to Kike Hernandez.
Don't throw him the strike because he likes to swing.
$13 in a row retired by Jesse Chavez as Jim Johnson up. And he's warming up like he's going to be the next pitcher. 2-1 now.
The game that Jesse pitched against the Angels, giving up just the 1 hit, the 2-run home run to Cole Calhoun. It went 6 innings. Of course, that was his first start. And Jesse Hahn had to be scratched because of the middle finger blister, or the cut part of the hand. But Jesse's been in the rotation ever since. He'd like to finish off without having somebody coming out of the bullpen in the 8th inning. Adrenaline. Start 22. Asked if the left-hander's ready. They'd want Rollins to hit right.
And there's a line drive right center field, and that's a hit. And it's going to go to the wall. Hernandez will stop at second, and he has a 2-out double.
Well, you saw Kurt Young lift his left arm up, which means Rollins coming up. He's the switch hitter. Last night he batted right-handed against Venditti. This pitch got up just enough for Hernandez to put a pretty good swing and go to right center.
Jimmy Rollins.
So at 113 pitches, Bob Melvin's going to leave the right-hander in. And he's going to try to get Jimmy Rollins. First pitch to Rollins, in for a strike.
This is what he did his second at bat. He popped up a 3-1 fastball. This was a 2-1 fastball that he got little bit up a little bit too much. That was after walking Peterson. But really for Jesse, only the second hit he's given up today, and that was Hernandez, who stands at second with 2 outs.
0-1 pitch inside corner, and now it's 0-2.
Well, that was the two-seamer coming back. Glad it came back, and check swing by Rollins to get the strike. Good pitch both ways. But that's a dangerous zone to go in.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a breaking ball, and what a performance by Jesse Chavez. 8 innings, and he finishes it by striking out Rollins with the tying run at second base. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The A's hanging on to a 3-2 lead. Game summary today brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Another tight, entertaining game. 2-2-0 for the Dodgers. 3-5-0 for the A's. Jimmy Rollins with a 2-run homer. That was in the 3rd inning. Jesse Chavez, 8 innings, 6 strikeouts, 116 pitches. And a couple more hits for Billy Burns. A couple hits for Mark Canha. Burns has scored a couple of runs. So bottom of the 8th inning. And the new pitcher for the Dodgers is Jim Johnson. Johnson pitched briefly in last night's game through just 5 pitches. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and small experts. So he'll face Sogard, Burns, and Canha.
The closer for the day is warming up. That is Drew Pomeranz, and expected that to happen. And coming up, a couple of lefties. This is a big hit to start that.
Right over the bag, and Sogard's 2 for 3. "116 pitches," Jesse Chavez said. "Come on, Skip. I think I got another inning in me."
You feel good. Well, at least you tried.
That's like asking your dad for the car before you got your license. No, that's a bad idea. But a good effort for Jesse Chavez.
Well, instead of adrenaline, that's what happens to the pitcher. And Jesse was said to be so proud to be left in the game to get Rollins, who'd hit the 2-run home run off him. Give Bob Melvin a lot of credit this season with certain guys, certain pitchers, and
that's going to be a base hit. You knew once it went past Johnson it was going to be a hit, and Johnson just could not get to it. He's a big, tall guy, Ray, and sometimes moving and then trying to bend down on the run and pick up the baseball is not easy to do.
Well, he did square, but once he moved to his left, he knew that if he didn't get it, that was it. And that was it. Looked like he was kind of going towards third base, but Turner had that area covered, so all he had to do was go towards first base. But, boy, just think for this young man, Billy Burns. That's his 3rd hit, 2nd infield hit. So that's 32. And bunting is kind of a novelty for him. It's not like between walking and bunting, 2 things that speed guys like to do. He's done really very little this year, and that's why he's only going to get better and better.
So Canna steps in, takes a first pitch breaking ball first strike. Canna's 2 for 3. He is 6 for 8 in this series. And the batting average now up over 250 at 253. In for a strike, and it's a quick 0-2. So curveball and then a fastball.
A lot goes into whether you want a hitter to bunt or not. You look who's the on deck circle. You look at beyond that. In case they would walk Valencia in this case. Canna with good speed, tough to double up, and does a good job hitting ball the right side. And he has another huge hole on that side if he so desires to try to stay inside the ball and go to right field to advance at least Sogard.
That running fastball that Johnson has.
Now Johnson, a ground ball pitcher, and as a closer for the Orioles for many years, he performed well. Talked to a turbo sinker, that ball that just went down very, very hard, that hitters hit on top of to get in the ground.
It's one of those turbo sinkers that he can get strikeouts with.
Yeah. Strikeouts or ground balls, that's a great combination to have for a relief pitcher. What the A's were hoping for when they signed him to the 1-year deal last year. They acquired him and paid him a lot of money, just did not work out.
There's that big overhand curve, and Canna lays off that one, and the count even at 2-2. 7 hits now for the A's, 2 for the Dodgers. And when you're facing a team that hits a lot of home runs, and you have a 1-run lead, with just one extra run makes a big difference. And the Dodgers very much a home run hitting team.
The guys starting the 9th inning in that category, and one of them is Adrian Gonzalez. Scheduled to hit 2, 3, 4. Crawford, Gonzalez, Turner. If Pomeranz comes in, he was warming up. Might be a pinch hitter for at least Crawford. We'll see it. See how hurt Puig is.
We'll find out. Good curve, down and away, and a full count. Valencia to follow. So that's one of those pitches, and we talk about this occasionally, Ray, where on 2-2, he throws you a curveball that's not close.
Right.
Well, wouldn't you then on 3-2 as a hitter just eliminate the thought of a curveball?
Absolutely, and he's tried to get Canna to chase on the sliders outside, and he's not been biting, which is a great at bat for him. And I just take an easy swing on a fastball or the sinker that he's probably going to get on 3-2.
And he comes inside with that fastball, and he misses badly, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Not the best pitch to try to get a ground ball either. When you try to go inside, you take away the movement, and movement almost hit him, but ended up being out of the strike zone.
Now batting, third baseman.
The last night, the Dodgers bullpen, 2+ innings, 7 hits and 4 runs. And that obviously came after Kershaw left the game. Today, Chris Hatcher retired the 4 hitters that he faced, but Johnson in a big-time trouble here as Avalon left-hander will get up.
And the infield end now, and of course, to earlier in the game when they were conceding the run, but a little bit different now because of that insurance run. Remember, they played back in the 6th inning. 6th inning, played back, got a double play, but the A's scored right now the run that gives them the lead.
And that one off the plate, so the count even at 1-1. couple of career grand slams for Valencia. And that one is drilled on the right field line, well foul.
I think from Valencia's standpoint, he has been up a couple of times. He got a fielder's choice in the first inning, grounded out in the next at bat, double play in the next at bat. He's trying to get the ball in the air, especially now with the runner at third, instead of hitting the ball on the ground, because this time, if it's on the ground to one of the infielders, they'll go to the plate.
And he got him swinging. Chased the ball in the dirt, 1 out.
Stephen Vogt for Josh Phegley. And here's the hard slider that was close enough that, even though out of the strike zone, Valencia decided to swing. So Vogt will hit for Phegley, and this is one of those things about if the sacrifice would occur with Canna and first base is open, that's decisions that a manager makes. And the manager, Bob Melvin, with the bases loaded, he goes to Stephen Vogt, who is supporting his starting pitcher today, even though he's not catching, or wasn't catching. That is Stephen Vogt, who I'm sure is supporting Jesse Chavez in a number of ways, including wearing the Sox out.
So Vogt is ready, and he walks to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. The A's in need of an insurance run.
And you know, the one thing for Drew Pomeranz listening to the bullpen, it's not like he's the everyday closer. But also you have a momentum change. You have bases loaded, nobody out. It's really almost imperative that the A's score. Otherwise, that momentum shift is going to switch right to the Dodgers in the 9th inning, regardless who comes in. And it will be Pomeranz.
There's a baseball loose way out in right field, so Ethier will grab that.
Oh, maybe that was one of those plays to get some extra throws for the left-handed boy.
We've seen that. We've seen teams do that.
And here comes Mattingly. Guess what? That was intentional because he got about 4 extra tosses. And he's saying, hold on. I don't know. He put his right hand up. Now he's called for it. Vogt's going to love this, though. He loves left-handers. And they bring him in specifically to face Stephen Vogt.
So lefty on lefty, Avalon coming in. September 6th, the A's will celebrate their 17th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Day, presented by Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and supported in part by King of Bottled Water, Nelson Staffing, American Bank, and State Roofing Systems of San Leandro. Prior to the game, 10,000 fans will receive a Breast Cancer Awareness scarf, courtesy of Zevia. To join the fight, purchase your special tickets now at athletics.com/survivor. So 3-2 A's lead. Looking for more here in the bottom of the 8th inning as Vogt is pinch hitting for Fegley. And Luis Avilan is in to face the left-handed hitting Stephen Vogt. 56th appearance. He came over in a trade from the Braves. It's the same trade that the Dodgers got Alex Wood, the starter today, and Jim Johnson, who just departed. Infield halfway, and Vogt goes after the first pitch, fouls it back. Sogard at third, Burns at second, Canna at first. Good career numbers with the bases loaded for Stephen Vogt. Pomeranz continues to throw out in the A's bullpen. In the dirt. Nice block by Grandal, especially with the bases loaded.
A lot of credit to all the catchers, and I mean all, both the A's and Dodgers. We saw last night with Ellis and Grandal this afternoon, and for Ellis blocking the curveball thrown by Clayton Kershaw. Didn't let anything get past him. The A's would like to have something get past where Sogard could get a secondary lead and maybe try to score.
In the dirt again. And Grandal blocks it. So now Vogt has got himself ahead in the count at 2-1.
It's kind of anticipate breaking pitches, not fastballs. And no, that came close, but a good job using just his catcher's mitt.
Outfield shifted toward left center. The big gap is in right center. Crawford well off the line and left, and shallow. And Vogt rips one toward right field. Ethier's back. He reaches up and he makes the catch. Sogard will come in to score. Burns to third. Sacrifice fly for Stephen Vogt, and the A's lead 4-2.
Right. Lefties don't bother Stephen Vogt. I think he just showed there. Already hit a couple of grand slams this year. This one had any elevation at all. Good swing, a little bit away, but the main thing, he got it in the air, almost got it over Ethier's head, but at least he drives in the run, a big run.
So Don Mattingly now wants the right-hander to face Smolinski. So we'll be back. A's have added a run, looking for more.
Telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So the A's now lead 4-2. And they still have runners at first and third and 2 outs for Smolinski. Stephen Vogt with a sacrifice fly, so he'll come in the game and catch as he pinch hit for Fegley. So Pedro Baez comes in. He's going to try to bounce back from a tough outing last night. Faced 3 hitters. Didn't get anybody out, and before it was all said and done, the A's had tied that game last night in the 8th inning.
That inning, 3 opposite field hits by the Athletics, which helped them score the 3 runs to tie it. Canada shot to right center. Smolinski just joining the club again today, maybe thinking the same thing, although center field, Peterson shading him that way. Maybe because of everything thrown outside by the right-hander.
Smolinski got one inside. Fouls it just below us, so the count 0-1. Smolinski's 0 for 3 today. His first game back from the minor leagues. Top of the 9th, it'll be Crawford, Gonzalez, and Turner. So it's been Wood, Hatcher, Johnson, Avalon, and Baez. And Baez, the 3rd pitcher of the inning for the Dodgers.
I think the first pitch fastball is supposed to be outside, but Baez ran it inside. I think away. I don't know that he want to make a mistake inside.
Check this swing. And no swing, says Tim Wilkie. Close.
Depends on the umpire, doesn't it?
Sure does. That's exactly right.
Baez does take a little time.
You think? What gave you that idea, right?
And Smolinski kind of with the minor league attitude, because the minor leagues, they really enforce the foot in the box all the time. So he's keeping his right foot in, waiting for Baez to get set, and then he gets set himself as Smolinski.
Turner can't get it down the left field line. Burns scores. Here comes Canna, and they will hold him. Now they're going to send him, but he stays at 3rd.
Time Smolinski got a hanging breaking ball from Baez. There's the breaking ball. It stayed inside and up, and Smolinski, as he has done, Folt's going to run for him, but great hit by Smolinski. He's going to get a nice ovation, and right there is when Mike Gallego wanted to send him as Crawford a little slow get into the ball, but when a runner starts to shut it down, there's no chance to continue. But at least there's another extra run. Nice job by Smolinski.
So fold the pinch run, and he'll obviously stay in the game. So now 5-2, and Butler will hit. Butler fouls it to the screen. 2 walks and a ground out for Butler. So 3 hits, a walk, a sacrifice fly, and a couple of runs here in the bottom of the 8th for the A's, and they are huge runs. And both the runs so far charged to Jim Johnson. Fastball a little bit outside. So again, some struggles from the Dodgers bullpen.
They make the moves. McConaughey, the pitching coach, Don Madden, the manager, and just like Bob Melton and Kurt Young experienced all season, make the moves, and at that point, it's up to the guys who come in to get the job done. McConaughey, his 10th season as pitching coach for the Dodgers.
Hits one high in the air toward the right field corner into foul territory. Ethier grabs it, side retired. So the A's get 2 insurance runs, and the 9th inning is coming up. Pomeranz is coming in. It's 5-2 Athletics over the Dodgers. So the A's with a 5-2 lead, trying to finish off the 2-game sweep of the Dodgers. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. So Drew Pomeranz has 1 save this year. He's got a 4-5 record, and he will face Carl Crawford leading it off here in the 9th inning. First pitch is a fastball outside. Sam Fuld stays in the game in left field. Stephen Vogt is your catcher. Swing and a miss. There's the fastball from Pomeranz. Crawford is 0 for 3 today. He has struck out twice and he has grounded out. Gonzalez to follow, another left-handed hitter, and then the right-handed hitting Justin Turner. Shallow center. Burns hustling in. Burns dives. Burns catches it. 1 away here in the 9th.
Billy Burns catches this ball almost like he's diving into second base in a stolen base. Comes flying in on the softly hit ball and then headlong. Caught it about waist high and hit the turf nice and soft. Good play by Billy Burns. You break back on that ball, you're never going to get to it because it was not hit hard by Crawford.
So 1 away, and here's Adrian Gonzalez, who is a good guy to face with the bases empty. First pitch right there for a strike. The Dodgers this year have not won in San Francisco, And they lost last night. Swing and a miss, 0-2. So 0-7 in the Bay Area. Three ground ball outs today for Adrian Gonzalez. You would think at some point Pomeranz is going to try to drop that big curveball on Gonzalez. See if it happens now. That one is hit in the air, left field, playable for full. Now he drifts into foul territory, fights it just a little bit. He makes the catch, and that's out number 2.
Here's today's Honda player of the game, Jesse Chavez, who 8 innings of great pitching by the A's right-hander, 116 pitches. That's a career high for him. Great defense by Eric Sogard. And their power from his pitcher, and just made a very good adjustment right at the beginning. It fell behind 3-1 to Jimmy Rollins, hopped him up after giving up a 2-run home run. Rollins struck him out for the final out in the 8th inning, and that was a big one for Jesse. With a tying run at second base, and he is in line for the victory if one more out can be recorded.
First pitch to Justin Turner is a strike down around the knees. Turner can't believe it. Turner is 0 for 2. The Dodgers only have 2 hits. A homer and a double. And that's a good pitch, but called the ball 1-1. The homer was by Rollins in the 3rd. The double was by Hernandez in the 8th. Vogt sets up inside. And it's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. 94 miles an hour from Pomeranz. And now the crowd rises to its feet.
Well, that's the
A's fans getting up a little quicker than Dodgers fans.
Yeah, that's fastball a little better to the right-hander, and he did face the 2 lefties. Got both Crawford and Gonzalez, but he could throw him the curveball. He could throw him the fastball inside. Either one, a good pitch.
Fastball, and it's hit down the right field line, headed for the Dodgers bullpen and foul.
He's thrown nothing but fastballs. And if he throws the knuckle curve, throw it hard.
That one way up and away. Pomeranz is ready, working from the stretch. 2-2 pitch inside, and now we got a full count. Andre Ethier would be next. Payoff pitch, here it is, and it's looped into shallow center. Sogard's back. Sogard grabs it, and that's the ball game. So Jesse Chavez gets his 7th win of the year. Drew Pomeranz gets his 2nd save, and the A's sweep the 2-game series from the Los Angeles Dodgers. So another good ball game this afternoon. It took 2 hours and 34 minutes. Crowd today was 26,122. Final score from the Coliseum, the A's 5 and the Dodgers 2. You've been watching A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Mindy Bach and Vic Roberts starts right now.